Welcome to the PCOS Lab. I'm Dr. Angela Potter. If you're tired of Band-Aid solutions and being told your labs are fine when you don't feel fine, you're in the right place. We use clinical engineering to move your body out of survival mode and into the biological safety required for motherhood. Let's get to work on your breakthrough. Imagine being in your early 30s, wanting to start a family, but finding yourself in a body that feels like it's shutting down. That was Samantha's reality. After coming off of birth control, her period surfaced for a brief moment and then vanished for 6 months. But that missing period, it was just the tip of the iceberg. She was dealing with thyroid problems, hair loss, debilitating fatigue, and heart palpitations. Meanwhile, she was doing what she thought were the right things. She was stuck in this cycle of metabolic noise. She felt like she couldn't even take care of herself, let alone a future family. And so what changed for Samantha, it wasn't a miracle drug or a secret supplement. It was architecture. Welcome back to the lab. I am Dr. Angela Potter, and today you're going to hear directly from Samantha about her story. And her and I are going to talk about how an elimination diet, it revealed her specific inflammatory triggers, how I helped her identify that she was actually under-eating and unintentionally stalling her metabolism, and how almost immediately, once her static was cleared, that her period returned. So even though her thyroid is still a work in progress, which you're going to hear more about from her, her cycle became constant. It became this green light that told her a family was finally possible. So if you've been told that your labs are normal while you're losing your hair and your energy is tanked, listen closely to Samantha's logic. It isn't just a success story. It's a roadmap for reclaiming your health. Let's head into the lab with Samantha. Samantha, thank you so much for joining me here to share a little bit of your story. Can you start by sharing with us, what have you or what were you struggling with and really frustrated about with your hormones and your fertility, and for how long before working with me?
Yeah, I first got diagnosed with Hashimoto's last fall. So that's when things kind of started for me. And I just persistently had like brain fog. I was like not losing weight. I wasn't necessarily gaining weight, but kind of like the 5 holiday pounds that come on here or there just kind of kept gathering and building off of each other. Wasn't really like going back to my normal weight. Hair loss was like a huge issue. And that's what actually triggered me to ask about Hashimoto's and getting my thyroid tested. And then I was kind of working through those things, and my period kind of came back after getting off of birth control for a couple months, but was seemed very strange to me. And then it just went away for 6 months. And that's when it prompted me to ask more questions with my doctors since my thyroid was starting to get evened out. And that's when I got diagnosed with PCOS and started doing some research and found you. And so I was obviously trying to plan for a family, and my period hadn't come back. So I knew that that wasn't probably very likely, and still just dealing with a lot of other really frustrating things, like the hair loss was still continuing, the brain fog, just so many side effects, I guess, like day to day, other than just not having a period, that were really, really frustrating.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, of course, when you want to start a family, not having your period is really difficult. But then add on top of that, you're losing your hair, you're not feeling good, like all these other things. How was that affecting you at that time?
Now that I look back, I think I understand more how it was affecting me. I mean, really, this is about almost a full year of when I like really finally started to like get some answers from like some doctors. And honestly, I was in a really bad place. Like last November, December, I mean, I would like have heart palpitations sometimes at work. Like I was so fatigued, really just thought some days that I wasn't gonna make it. Like I don't think I realized it then at that time, but like my health was really, really poor, and it was hard. And obviously, like wanting to start a family, like I felt very frustrated with not getting answers from different doctors. I just wanted to like fix the problem now, basically, or have some sort of answer that made sense to me other than just slapping another medication on it. And so I think now that I look back, like I see how much it really did impact me and like how much better I feel now, just in all aspects of my life. But yeah, when I look back, it was a lot. It was a lot last year.
Yeah, and you had a lot on your plate too. Yeah, yeah. So then what changed for you when you started working with me?
Yeah, so we kind of started with a detox first and like doing the whole elimination diet, which I'd always kind of like wondered if I should do, but never really could find someone to give me the correct guidance, or I didn't feel confident I could do it on my own. And immediately I got my period back, and I've had it back fairly regularly since then, other than, a few weird things here or there, but no cycles that have been a little crazy like it was before. My longest cycle is probably 36 days versus 6 months, right? So my cycle came back regularly, which was really, really encouraging. Even though my Hashimoto's kind of like yo-yoed back and forth, my period stayed consistent, which was something that I was able to hold on to. So even while I continued to be frustrated a little bit as I worked through things, or, things take time for your body to adjust, I still had that, which was really, really nice. Through the elimination diet, I found out that gluten and dairy were triggers for me, which was not shocking by like the literature that I've read, but it was shocking for me to experience. I didn't realize that I was bloated after every meal. I kind of just thought it was like the weight that I had kept on, or just like normal, like, okay, I'm full. So like now I'm bloated. So that was a really huge eye opener for me, realizing like, oh, you can actually feel full without having all of that bloat, or like feeling completely different in the morning versus the evening is not normal. So that was a really, really huge change for me, and just like overall better gut health, like seeing the changes even like in my face of just the inflammation decreasing. I still struggle with hormonal acne here or there, but huge difference with that as well. So I think those were really the biggest changes I experienced.
Which is they're all something to celebrate. Yeah. And so, reflecting, you were sharing how you were feeling this time last year, just not good, and your period was gone, and either you were going to get a Band-Aid solution or kind of no advice at all. Then how does that then, focusing on now, like how do you feel now, thinking back on that and just on a day-to-day basis? How is it different for you?
I think just in general, I'm so much more in tune with my body than I was before. And so while I'm still taking, thyroid medication, I know there's all of these other things that I can do to support my body, whether it's like the nutrients that I'm eating in my food, or like supplements that I'm taking, making sure I'm getting enough sleep, like meditating here or there to like manage stress. I just feel like I can control my body a lot more. Or when I do little things, I notice like, "Oh, I ate that thing and I'm breaking out." It's probably because of that. I just feel more in control of my body, even though some things aren't perfect still. I feel so, so much more in control, and like I can figure out what's happening.
That's so empowering to have that
Mhm.
for yourself and to know what your body needs.
Yes, definitely.
So through that, like, what else has become possible for you?
Yeah, I mean, I really struggled at work last year, and I think while there's still struggles this year, it's much easier for me to handle the stress of work. I feel like I've kept kind of like my, what I would say, baseline like weight, like I'm back to that. It stays stable, which has been really nice. Just not feeling fatigued all the time. Like I can come home from work and do things around the house or cook dinner, and I don't feel like, I just need to go to bed right away or take a nap. That's been a huge change, and just being able to live life, I guess. It's been really great. Possibility of trying for a family, like we are trying. That's been nice to at least feel like I have an opportunity to try versus just not having a period and, not really being able to try. So those are some things that have really changed.
I love what you said. Like, now you can just live life. And before it felt so hard. And like, that's so simple to just live, but that encompasses So much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you mind sharing? I know your husband followed a little bit of the protocol and he saw some improvements too, didn't he?
Yeah. His improvements were pretty drastic. While, like, my gut changed a lot and I kind of was like, "Do you feel these things?" He was like, "No, like, I feel the same." So, he doesn't have those, like, intolerances that I do, but he lost a very significant amount of weight just with the way that we changed our diet, which honestly, we were not that unhealthy before. We ate fairly healthy, but just the changes of eating like 90% whole foods and just thinking more about like our toxic load. I think all of those things just really contributed. Yeah, I'm trying to think like he lost 35 pounds since, yeah, last year. So a significant amount. And he's kept that weight off too. So, and while we've like loosened some of the way that we eat, or, if we have a busy week, we try to have healthier, like quick choices or things like that. Yeah, he's kept the weight off. And he even kind of liked to pick up his own habit stacking routines. So he started doing like 100 push ups a day and little things like here and there. And yeah, it changed a lot for him too, and he started to really feel good about himself too, and, like seeing those improvements. But yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's great for him and how that's just even expressing itself through just energy and feeling better. And I
Yeah.
love what you said. A lot of people will say this to me when they first start working with me, like, "Oh, I'm eating pretty healthy." And you were just mentioning that. And yes, like a lot of people are, but then it's about the tweaks, right?
Mhm.
And then having somebody else's eyes on like what you're eating and kind of food patterns and stuff, and realizing that there's actually some big improvement or improvements for big change.
Yeah, and I think actually the biggest thing for probably both my husband and I was while we were eating, fairly healthy, or we were choosing what we would call healthy foods, we didn't eat enough in the day. Like, I don't know. That's something I really put emphasis on when I tell people about my journey now is how much we actually eat compared to what we used to. And, without thinking about it, we were ruining our metabolism. I mean, neither one of us ever ate breakfast. Now we always have like a protein filled breakfast in the morning, and we make sure we have at least one snack in the day, if not two. So that's changed a lot for us too. Like we're really actually eating more food, but losing weight. And it's not how you normally think about things. And I know some people mention it here or there, and you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter that much, but it really did make a big difference for us.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up because it has so much more to do than just the calories,
Mhm.
as you've been seeing. And you guys are, you're not bloated, you're losing the weight. Yeah, that's big changes. So, Samantha, when you're reflecting back on these changes that you've made and the journey you've had while working with me, what are things that you're grateful for?
I'm just grateful for my health to be improving. I mean, it was kind of scary, to be in your early 30s and having heart palpitations and not enough energy. And like, we haven't even started a family yet. I just kind of felt hopeless at times. Like, well, how do people manage having a family? Like, I have no energy for myself. I can't take care of myself. And so it's been really nice to have these changes. And I just feel so grateful that I feel like I can take care of myself now and I can manage other things. And that even though like health is not perfect, if something comes up, I have a lot of tools to manage it or to figure out at least what's going on without just slapping another medication on it. I can kind of get to the root cause of what's going on or at least have an idea of where to start. So I'm just really, really grateful for that.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing bits into your story and how you've changed. It's really your words are going to be this ripple effect and create waves of hope for other women.
Hope so.
I love Samantha's story because it proves that your body, it's not failing you. It's trying to communicate through a lot of noise. So when she stopped guessing and started looking at her case with me through a clinical lens, the results followed the logic. So if you're sitting where Samantha was, feeling like you're doing everything right, but still waiting for a period that won't come, we need to look at your architecture. And I've put together a video over at drangelapotter.com/watch that maps out exactly how this 3-phase process works. And it's a straightforward look at how we can clear that metabolic static and get your system back online. So you are seeing results like Samantha and feeling like your body is working again and that you have the green light forward to fertility. So go watch that video. And if the science clicks for you and you're ready to get to the root of your own case, you can apply for a PCOS fertility audit right there on the same page. Let's stop the Band-Aid fixes and start building your foundation. I'll see you in the blueprint. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you're tired of the guesswork and ready for a clinical blueprint, it's time to stop researching and start signaling safety to your system. Head over to drangelapotter.com/start to take my PCOS ovulation assessment. In just 2 minutes, you'll identify what's triggering your fertility emergency brakes and get a clear roadmap for your next steps. And if you're ready for a deeper dive, you can book a private PCOS fertility audit right there on the same page. I'm Dr. Angela Potter. Your body is capable, your biology is brilliant, and your future is waiting. I'll see you in the next episode.